Welcome to Mindful Moments, where
Yeah.
we like to serve up some brain food in bite-sized portions.
What if you possessed such command that even nature's fury bent to your will, every raindrop an obedient soldier in retreat? That's the initial glimpse we get into a world we're exploring today, not of gods, but of individuals grappling with extraordinary power and the
Mhm.
choices it demands.
Yeah, and what's immediately compelling is that such a display, that dominance, it hints at a deeper story.
Yeah.
Control on that scale, well, it rarely comes without consequence, creating this inherent tension right away.
Exactly. We're looking closely today at excerpts from Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil. Forget the sweeping space operas for a moment. Our focus is laser sharp, really, on the personal battles, the cunning strategies, and the often hidden costs for those navigating a universe where power, ambition, and, well, betrayal are constant companions.
hmm The material provides a fascinating cross-section. We see Darth Bane confronting the physical toll of his connection to the dark side, the volatile social landscape on the mining planet Doan, which is just ripe for rebellion,
Right.
intricate political machinations unfolding, and that irresistible pull of forbidden knowledge, all interwoven with acts of betrayal and, yeah, some pretty unexpected alliances.
Our goal here is to extract the core understanding of how power truly shapes an individual, how societal structures can sort of foster conflict, and the surprising ways personal histories can steer destiny. We aim to do this in a way that engages you, maybe offers a few unexpected insights, without overwhelming you with details. So let's start by looking at the price of that power.
Well, the image of Darth Bane deflecting the downpour is undeniably powerful, isn't it? Drawing on it to extend his awareness out to encompass each individual bead of rain as it fell from the sky, he resolved not to let a single drop touch his exposed flesh. I mean, it showcases a remarkable level of focus and mastery over the Force.
It's almost a display of effortless superiority, yeah.
Mhm.
Yet the narrative quickly reveals that this level of control comes at a significant physical cost.
Precisely. His body is undergoing a visible deterioration. Years of channeling the dark side's raw energy, and that's exacerbated by the effects of the Orbalisk armor, which, by the way, was this parasitic organism Bane used to sort of amplify his connection, though it had serious drawbacks, are taking a heavy toll. We get descriptions of, trembling hands, sunken eyes, skin that's pale and pockmarked.
And the text is pretty direct about it. Through the dark side, he had access to near infinite power, but it was power that came with a terrible cost. Flesh and bone lacked the strength to withstand the unfathomable energy unleashed by the Force. It's a stark realization, really, that even the most extraordinary power has its limits and consequences.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is power ever truly without a price, even if that price isn't immediately obvious? Bane's condition serves as a potent reminder that even pursuits offering immense benefits can harbor these unforeseen downsides.
Okay, so shifting our focus a bit from the individual to the societal level, the planet Doan presents a really compelling study of how profound inequality can breed conflict. You have this affluent nobility living in comfort far above the surface, while the vast majority, the lower castes, are engaged in relentless physical labor in the mines below.
The contrast is just sharply defined. That wealth, however, was concentrated almost exclusively in the hands of the nobility. Most of the populace was made up of Dawn society's lower castes, beings condemned to spend their lives engaged in constant physical labor. This immediate division creates a clear dynamic of, well, resentment and potential for upheaval.
Yeah, and the descriptions of the lower caste's environment really illustrate this injustice. Oppressive heat, pervasive dust, makeshift dwellings in open pits and crude caverns. That line, a wall of oppressive heat thrown up from the barren, sun-scorched ground had enveloped him. It really conveys the sheer physical hardship they endure daily.
It's a classic formula for social unrest, really. When one segment of society exists in such stark opposition to another, it cultivates an environment that's just ripe for rebellion. And we see a Jedi, Med Tandar, attempts to intervene but is ultimately killed, highlighting how deeply entrenched the conflict is.
Right. Even the King of Dawn, despite his position of authority, is shown to be concerned. He recognizes the growing support for the rebels within the wider galactic community and actively seeks alliances, even with the Jedi, maybe not out of moral conviction, but as a strategy for political preservation. It shows how even those in power are influenced by the pressures of societal conflict.
That raises a crucial point, doesn't it, about the underlying motivations behind alliances and interventions. Are they always rooted in altruism, or are there often more self-serving agendas at play, even when they're cloaked in noble rhetoric?
Good question. Now, turning our attention back to Darth Bane, We see him engaged in this personal quest for forbidden knowledge. His pursuit leads him to Argel 10, a dealer specializing in banned Sith artifacts. What's striking about Argel is his almost nonchalant attitude towards the dark side.
Yes, Argel treats these ancient and potentially perilous texts as mere commodities. The quote, he bartered and traded the secrets of the ancient Sith like cheap rugs at an open-air bazaar, really diminishes the immense power and significance these artifacts hold for someone like Bane, you know?
Precisely. For Bane, these represent pathways to unimaginable power, whereas for Argel, they're just goods to be traded. And the specific knowledge Bane seeks is a scroll linked to Darth Andedu, rumored to contain the secret of eternal life.
If the legends are to be believed, Andedu's holocron contains the secret of eternal life.
Yeah.
A holocron, by the way, is basically a data storage device used by Force sensitives, often containing valuable and sometimes dangerous knowledge. This whole pursuit of immortality is a recurring theme in Tales of Power, isn't it? Reflecting that fundamental human fear of mortality and the extreme measures people take to try and overcome it.
It certainly does, and it underscores the captivating nature of forbidden knowledge, this idea that there are hidden truths that could fundamentally alter our understanding of existence, and the often treacherous paths individuals will take to uncover them.
We also see how personal ambitions get tangled up with these broader conflicts. Princess Sarah of Doan, for instance, she's grappling with the political turmoil on her planet and the recent death of her husband. Her interactions with the king reveal this complex web of political maneuvering.
Yeah, the King's statement, working with the Jedi will make them and the Senate less willing to take action against us, clearly illustrates his pragmatic, almost cynical approach. He's leveraging the Jedi for his own political advantage.
And Sarah's actions go beyond just political strategy. She hires the Huntress to capture Set Hearth, a dark Jedi. This introduces a personal element, revenge, into the unfolding events, suggesting the conflicts on Doan aren't solely about social inequality or political power, but also about individual grievances and, well, the desire for retribution.
Within the rebel factions on Doan, we also see how even the pursuit of positive change can be corrupted. There's a figure named Drado who seems heavily influenced by dark side talismans, and his rhetoric becomes increasingly violent.
The nobles won't respect us until they learn to fear us. That, quote, starkly illustrates how the quest for justice can sometimes spiral down into a cycle of violence and oppression, especially when influenced by the seductive allure of the dark side.
It really serves as a cautionary example, doesn't it? That even noble aspirations can be distorted by negative influences. To give some context, a Jedi Master, Oba, clarifies the distinction between the Sith and Dark Jedi. He emphasizes that the Sith seek galactic conquest, their ultimate aim being to wipe us from existence. They sought to rule the galaxy.
Right. In contrast, the Dark Jedi's ambitions are ultimately more self-centered. As Oba explains, their primary goal is not galactic conquest, but personal wealth and importance. They are basically individuals wielding the power of the Force for their own selfish ends.
That distinction is vital, highlighting the different motivations and scales of ambition among those who wield the dark side. Now, reflecting on these deeper meanings within narratives, it kind of reminds us of Mindful Moments, that AI audiobook analysis YouTube channel. They explore themes quite similar to what we're uncovering today. It's another really good resource for those who enjoy delving beneath the surface of a story.
It's a relevant connection, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always insightful to see how similar themes resonate across various forms of analysis and platforms.
Definitely. So returning to our narrative, the Huntress, an Ektochi with precognitive abilities, emerges as a pretty significant figure. Her past is connected to a Sith Lord who visited her father's healing camp on Ambria. Her visions reveal a history marked by violence and the pervasive influence of the dark side.
That line, I see what he did to you, it hints at a profound and probably traumatic history for the Huntress, further shaping her motivations and future actions. It really underscores the enduring impact of personal history on an individual's path.
Meanwhile, Set Hearth, the self-serving Dark Jedi, is also on Doan, seeking dark side artifacts. His interactions with the miners clearly demonstrate his selfish nature. He just views them merely as obstacles or maybe tools to achieve his own objectives.
Yeah, his presence and methods stand in stark contrast to the Jedi's supposed role as peacekeepers. Set is solely driven by personal gain, further emphasizing that difference Abba outlined between the Sith and Dark Jedi.
Darth Bane himself continues his relentless pursuit of power and knowledge, journeying to the isolated world of Prakith to acquire Darth Andedu's holocron. His encounter with the fanatical followers of Andedu vividly illustrates his ruthlessness. He's basically prepared to eliminate anyone who stands in his way.
It's a clear demonstration of his unwavering commitment to his goals, regardless of the human cost. This single-minded determination is a defining characteristic of many powerful figures, both in fiction and, well, reality.
As Bane seeks immortality, his apprentice, Zannah, becomes aware of his quest. This, naturally, ignites her own ambitions and hints at the inherent instability within the rule of two, that principle that only two Sith should exist, a master and an apprentice, with the apprentice eventually meant to surpass the master.
Right, and the quote, despite everything he had taught her about the rule of two, he wasn't willing to accept the idea that his apprentice would one day surpass him. Reveals a fundamental flaw in Bane's strategy, doesn't it? His own ego and desire for control might ultimately undermine his own teachings.
Yeah, it seems like it. Back on Doan, Princess Sarah captures Sethhearth, seeking revenge for her father's death. However, their interactions reveal Set's manipulative nature and his rather disturbing beliefs about victims and power.
His statement, those who are victims have no one to blame but themselves, is just chilling. It's a reflection of a philosophy that absolves the powerful of responsibility for the suffering of others. It's a stark and unsettling perspective.
It really is. Then, in a surprising turn, Lucia, a former soldier, aids Darth Bane's escape. This reveals a connection to Bane's past as Des, a minor. It's a powerful moment showing how past identities can resurface and profoundly influence present actions.
Lucia's words, we serve together in the Gloomwalkers, they instantly shatter the carefully constructed persona Bane has cultivated. It's a reminder that our past is never truly left behind, and that unexpected connections can emerge even in the most improbable circumstances.
Absolutely. And then the Huntress, sensing Bane's power and seeking her own purpose, ultimately offers her services to him, forging a new and potentially very dangerous alliance.
Her plea, let me study under you, instruct me in the dark side, teach me the ways of the Sith, marks a pivotal shift in her path. Drawn by power and maybe a lack of direction, she chooses a course likely filled with darkness and conflict.
So as our excerpts conclude, Zannah and Bane are independently charting their next moves, kind of unaware of each other's immediate plans. Their futures, and the future of the Sith, really hang in the balance, filled with uncertainty and the potential for significant conflict.
It leaves us with a real sense of anticipation, doesn't it? As these interwoven threads of power, ambition, and personal history converge, promising some significant developments down the line.
As we wrap up, let's consider these key insights. We've witnessed firsthand how the relentless pursuit of power can lead to both physical and moral decay. We've observed how deep-seated social inequalities can inevitably fuel unrest and rebellion. And the shadows of the past, like Lucia's reappearance showed us, can unexpectedly and powerfully shape the course of the future. The undeniable allure of forbidden knowledge and the ever-shifting complexities of loyalty and betrayal have been central to these interconnected narratives.
What's compelling is how these themes, even though they're set in a fictional galaxy, resonate with so many of the dynamics we see in our own world. The tensions between the powerful and the powerless, the personal costs of ambition, and the enduring impact of our past experiences. It's all pretty familiar stuff.
So maybe consider this. In a world where the pursuit of power, in all its many forms, is so prevalent, what are the unseen costs? Not just for the individuals who wield it, but for the societies they influence. And how often do our past selves, the identities we try to leave behind or outgrow, truly dictate our present and future choices? Perhaps in ways we don't even recognize.
It's a thought-provoking question, definitely. It encourages us to look beyond the surface and consider the deeper implications of the choices we and others make.
If this exploration into the intricate dynamics of power, ambition, and destiny has sparked your curiosity, be sure to subscribe and share this with others. For those wanting to delve further into these themes and support our work, a purchase link to Darth Bane, Dynasty of Evil, can be found in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and remember to always think critically about the forces that shape our world, both fictional and real.